This is CBS 6 News.
Rise and shine. Good morning. This Sunday, May 24th. I'm Lynn Falsetti. Well, let's get right to some developing news out of Greene County this morning. Police continue to investigate a motorcycle crash that killed a man and sent a 12-year-old boy to the hospital. It happened in Catskill on Leeds-Athens Road yesterday morning. State police say 32-year-old Corey Hogg of Valatia was driving the bike that ran head-on into a car. It's still unclear how exactly that happened. One trooper said the injured boy is Hogg's nephew. He's now listed in serious but stable condition. 3 people were in the car. None of them, thankfully, were hurt. And now to an update on the fires we first broke to you yesterday morning. Remember I told you Washington County firefighters had their hands full? Well, that's because there were 3 separate fires they were managing and now investigating this morning. This one was on Fly Summit Road in Easton. An elderly woman was shaken up, but otherwise is expected to be okay. The Red Cross tells CBS 6, though, they are assisting 2 people. And then there's this structure fire. This one, however, is a total loss. This one is in Hartford. Luckily, no one was injured there. A third home in Fort Anne also went up in flames early yesterday morning. Still no word on whether anyone was hurt in that fire. Well, here's another scary crash that could have been a lot worse. It all unfolded at the Snowman ice cream stand Saturday in Lansingburg. A driver somehow lost control, then ran into the supports that hold up the awning out front, right where people line up for ice cream. Now, luckily, the Snowman hadn't opened yet, so no one got hurt.
Come by here quite often, and I see the lines.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and luckily
40, 50
open.
deep.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we weren't open when something like this happened. I was up in the front getting prepared to open. We were about a half hour out from opening. It could have been a catastrophe, and I'm just glad it didn't come down to that.
Glad to hear no one was hurt. Well, it's always a busy spot there, especially on a beautiful holiday weekend. A water main break in Rotterdam is now cleaned up this morning. The break took place on West Side Avenue. Crews spent most of Saturday working on this repair. West Side Avenue from Oaklawn to Helderberg was closed, but it is back open this morning. At this time, town residents are being told that all outdoor and any unnecessary watering is prohibited until further notice. However, a boil water advisory is not in effect. Memorial Day, it's not meant to celebrate good grilling weather, but to honor the men and women who've died while serving our country. The way they're honored each year is the placement of American flags on their graves at Saratoga National Cemetery. 10,000 flags are placed in front of the grave sites this weekend, all thanks to the Marine Corps League and other military-affiliated groups.
We've been doing this for years. This is an awesome occasion. It's wonderful to see all the flags. It's just, you can't describe it.
Several of our family members are all military people, so we always do this to honor them. You know, people should know what Memorial Day is about.
About 200 volunteers also paid tribute by placing the flags here this weekend. A Memorial Day ceremony will be held tomorrow at the grave that a New York historical group says contains the oldest known remains of unknown soldiers in the United States. The gravesite is located in Lake George's Battlefield Park, and it contains the remains of 4 colonial American soldiers who died more than 250 years ago in the French and Indian War. Well, one Mechanicville cemetery hasn't been as fortunate in years past, but thanks to a Saratoga County man who's been working tirelessly for the past year, people and veterans have a proper final resting place this Memorial Day weekend.
1 year ago, Victor Wood stumbled upon this, a cemetery along Vial Hill Road in Mechanicville, with headstones turned over, debris scattered everywhere, missing graves. All of this at a cemetery where dozens of veterans have been buried.
Since we have this new committee in Stillwater, Mechanicville, we were asked to go through the cemeteries and see what we thought about them, and this one happened.
Victor Wood says that there is more restoration ahead, and he does welcome volunteers. And hundreds of people will line the streets of Albany tomorrow for the city's Memorial Day Parade. Well, this is footage from last year's. Tomorrow's Memorial Day Parade will step off at 9:30 tomorrow morning at the intersection of Ontario Street and Central Avenue. Congressman Tonko will be one of the many political leaders participating this year. The parade route will lead to a ceremony that will follow at Academy Park. That's scheduled for 11 a.m. Coming up, a new study shedding light on additional breast cancer screenings in some women, why it may not be the best idea. and a possible link between depression and Parkinson's disease. More on that next in your Eye on Health.